The following is a production of FSM, where Northwest fans come first.
It is an absolutely gorgeous December day in Seattle. A terrific day to be outdoors, but not a bad day to be inside at Bank of America Arena at the University of Washington for a Pac-10 West Coast Conference matchup between the 22nd rated Washington Huskies and the Dons of San Francisco. Happy holidays, everybody. Along with Francis Williams, I'm Tom Glasgow. Nice to have you with us on the day the Washington Huskies hope to register the 1,600 win in program history. And Francis, at the same time, get a nice tune-up as they get ready for conference play Thursday right here against Oregon State.
Well, Washington has the luxury of starting Pac-10 play at home, where they've won 16 games in a row and 26 of their last 27. So that kind of gives them a leg up to start.
Always a lot of talk about Quincy Pondexter and Isaiah Thomas, but a guy who's done a very nice job coming off the bench the last couple of games, Vinoy Overton.
Well, whether he's starting or whether he's coming off the bench, it really doesn't matter to Vinoy. What he does, a lot of things that statistically don't show up, his energy, his effort, and more importantly, his tenacity on defense is what he brings to this Washington program. And when he comes into the game, he pushes the ball and really puts pressure on the other team's point guard, and that really gets Washington into the style of play the way they really want to play at all times.
Well, since game one, about 5 players, a group of 5, have been battling for minutes, and in the last couple of ball games, Scott Suggs has made a strong case.
Well, Scott Suggs has definitely put in his bid for those minutes. He's up to 22 minutes a game now in the last 2, averaging about almost 10 points per game. He shot the ball extremely well, and at 6'6", his length on the wing, his ability to handle the basketball and shoot it is a major plus for Washington, and he's played very well here heading into Pac-10 play.
We'll see if he can keep it going today. Believe it or not, this is the first meeting ever between San Francisco and the Huskies. For a closer look at the Dons, we send it courtside and say hello to Angie Mentink. Angie?
Yeah, guys, we may not know the Dons very well after all. This is the first time these two teams have met, but you will remember their coach, former first-round pick in the NBA draft, Rex Walters. He's also a former Kansas Jayhawk, and the Dons haven't been able to win on the road this year, and they also haven't been able to beat the Pac-10. In fact, ASU hung 104 on them this year. They are led by D.R. Lohorn. I asked Coach Romar just a few minutes ago about the strategy going up against a guy like this. He said the plan is to keep it out of his hands, because once the guy gets it in his hands, he likes to shoot the basketball. It was sort of a strange coincidence, Tom, and that is this is the second straight game that the Huskies have gone up against a coach who is a former Jayhawk player.
Good point, Angie. Of course, Walters today, and in the previous ball game last Tuesday, Mark Turgeon brought his Texas A&M club here into Bank of America Arena, and the Huskies pulled away and won that contest 73-64. As you look at the Huskies, an early start. They had one not too long ago against Georgetown down in the Wooden Classic. As we take a look at the starting lineup for the Huskies, Quincy Pondexter, Isaiah Thomas, the leading scorers, and the Huskies looking for some consistent play out of the true freshman joining Thomas in the backcourt, and that is Abdul Gaddy. Of course, the Huskies led by Lorenzo Romar in his 8th season as head coach, a former Husky player, a career record here on campus of 153 wins and 83 losses, and needs 3 wins to tie Tippy Dye for the 3rd most in Husky history. Starting lineup for the Dons of San Francisco, led by their leading scorer and rebounder, Dior Lohorn. Angelo Calario joining him at a forward spot. Thomas Bruja out of the Czech Republic at center. In the backcourt, Michael Williams and Dante Bryant. There is the head coach, Rex Walters, graduate of Kansas in '93 in his 2nd year, heading up this San Francisco program with a record of 15-28. And of course, this is a program with great tradition, also with controversy in the early '80s, a program that was shut down for 4 years. So there have been plenty of ups and downs, but the potential is certainly there for Rex Walters. It will take some time, Francis.
Well, you talked about the history and tradition. Of course, Bill Russell Oh, as Thomas blows a layup, but Bill Russell, Casey Jones, of course, kind of got that whole thing started. Hoping maybe Bill might show up today with the game being here in his backyard.
We'll keep our eyes open. Lowhorn, baseline jumper, and it's good. Dior Lowhorn, 6'7", 230 senior. From San Francisco, started his college career playing a season at Texas Tech before transferring, wanting to get back closer to home.
Coming out of high school, it came down to Texas Tech, Washington, and USF. Picked Texas Tech early, as you see him block the shot there. But picked Texas Tech to go play for Bobby Knight. Didn't work out, chose to come back home. And Coach Lorenzo Romar had talked about it. Really came down to Lowhorn and John Brockman in that recruiting class. And Brockman committed first, so they took John. I think that worked out okay.
I think it did work out
for
quite
both of them, actually.
Lowhorn, by the way, averaging just over 19 points per game and just under 6 rebounds, as Darnell Gant was having some issues getting the ball inbound. So he takes an early timeout, just 37 seconds into this contest. If you look at Lorenzo Romar, there's some talk of maybe this being a bit of a trap game for the Washington Huskies. They had the 24th off, obviously the 25th. Late practice last night, early start today. The conference opener coming up on Thursday. I mean, there are certainly distractions out there if you want to let him creep in there. I think he's looking for his guys to be focused from the beginning and all the way through.
Yeah, well, early on, they're not showing a lot of focus, quite frankly. I mean, Thomas misses a wide open layup, and then they have a sideline out of bounds where they can't get the ball in bounds, so they're forced to call a timeout with 33 seconds gone off the clock. So we'll have to pay attention to that and see if the focus is really there.
Abdul Gadi, guarded by Dante Bryant. Isaiah Thomas has done a nice job the last couple of games distributing the ball. A jump hook by Matthew Bryan Ammoning. Oh, good. The Dons heading the other direction, looking to build on their early lead. It's Gant matched up with Lowhorn.
Keep your eye on Lowhorn. He has led the WCC in scoring the last 2 years. A very accomplished scorer, can get it on the post. He can face up and shoot it, as we saw earlier. And he's a good offensive player, and everything pretty much will run through him.
First foul in the game goes against Bryan Ammoning. A little too much contact with Bruja. Lowhorn, strong air ball, and Thomas lets it go out of bounds. And the chant from the Husky student body, just in case Lowhorn didn't realize it was an air ball. They're going to give him a quick reminder. Lowhorn guarding Gant. Darnell with a pick for Gaddy. A really rough time shooting the ball in his first season. Gets that one to drop, though. Nice penetration.
And at 6'3", he's got a little bit of a size advantage, maybe over Bryant, maybe not much, but he has a little bit of a length advantage, and he can get into the lane a lot and get shots like that to fall. It'll be good for his confidence.
Shooting just 30% this season. Lowhorn, good body position inside, but a little too strong off the glass. And the Huskies come the other way with Thomas. Nice look inside to Bryan Ammoning, and an even better feed inside to Quincy Pondexter. Terrific passing. Lorenzo Romar, I know, would like to see those assist numbers improve for his club.
Well, it was a good pass by Bryan Ammoning, although he had a wide open layup when Thomas passed him the ball. But an unselfish play, and Pondexter, who's always moving without the basketball, finds a gap there to get the easy two.
Ryan to Calario, long three. Nothing but net. Angelo Calario, a terrific shooter, hitting 51% from the floor, 53% from three-point range. A sophomore from San Jose, averaging just under 8 points per game.
Well, as you said, Calario's an outstanding three-point shooter at 6'7". I went to Archbishop Mitty there in San Jose, was a teammate of Drew Gordon, who just left the UCLA program. But they were a very formidable duo, and came up just a little bit short in trying to win a California State championship coming out of high school.
13 seconds on the shot clock for the Huskies. Thomas looking for three, a little strong. Gant keeps it alive, a new clock for the Dogs. Gaddy, an open shot from 16 feet, a little strong. Last touched by Matthew Bryan Ammoning. It'll be USF ball.
And you saw the last possession for Washington. Gaddy's just hesitant with the basketball. He had 2 or 3 shots there that he could have taken. That would have been good shots. It wouldn't have been a force at all. But he's just a little bit hesitant on the offensive end because he right now does not have the confidence.
Huskies 2 of 7 from the floor. San Francisco 2 of 4. Pondexter with the steal. Huskies in transition. Thomas, it's a 4-on-3 break. Gant doubled up. Hands it off to Pondexter. Guarded by Bruja. Gant, nice feed inside. Brian Ammoning will shoot 2. Good entry pass by Darnell Gant as we head courtside again and check in with Angie.
Yeah, Tom, I think that Romar, in his words, he said he was a little apprehensive about how things were going to go today because the team did take those 2 days off and they only had that one practice last night from 6 to 8:30 before what he calls the final dress rehearsal before Pac-10 play begins. There's no more experiments, in his words, and they need to figure this out before they head into conference play.
Benoit Overton checks in for the Huskies. Isaiah Thomas heads out in this tie game. A couple of substitutions as well for San Francisco. Rebound by Lowhorn. Number 1, Kwame Vaughn has checked in. And also number 21, Mustafa Deshara out of Marseille, France, by way of Sheridan Junior College in Wyoming. Marseille to Sheridan. Not a lot of folks make that trip.
That's a unique trick.
Lowhorn. He has some range. Rebounded by Pondexter.
2 Huskies we featured in our opener now in the game, so we'll see if they continue to impact the game that they have in the 2 previous contests.
Nice find. Terrific shot by Matthew Brian Ammoning with his back basically to the basket. Matthew Brian Ammoning now with 3 points. Benoit Overton, that very aggressive defense he loves to play. Trying to make life miserable for Dante Bryant. Bishara. Shot clock at 13. Open look, Calario. In and out. Sharia keeping it alive for the Dons. It's Kwame Vaughn with the ball. Brian Ammoning knocking it free. Double team. Scott Suggs who's checked in. Nice job defensively by Scott to avoid direct contact as Calario is trying to throw it off him out of bounds. Pondexter in the paint. Size mismatch, and he exploits it. Nicely done in the paint by Quincy Pondexter.
Washington has a size advantage at every position along the front line. But you see immediately when Overton comes into the basketball game with the defensive pressure, right away the personality of the Husky team defensively changes.
All 4 baskets for the Huskies coming in the paint. Lowhorn in the paint. He likes to do work there. Comes up short. And a foul will go against Benoit Overton. Deshara causing some problems for the Huskies inside, but a pretty move by Matthew Brian Ammoning. One reason the Huskies are up by 4 early against San Francisco. College basketball on FSN is brought to you by Quest. Our internet customers get free Quest Wi-Fi powered by AT&T Wi-Fi. By Sterling Savings Bank, now more than ever. And by Emerald Queen Hotel and Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Welcome back to Bank of America Arena. An early 9-5 lead for the Huskies over the Dons of San Francisco. Along with Angie Minton, Francis Williams, I'm Tom Glasgow. And we hope you're having a great holiday season. As look a little bit at the history of the San Francisco Dons. Founded in 1855 as St. Ignatius, the original nickname, the Gray Fog for San Francisco.
Makes sense.
We understand that. The school changed the name to USF in 1930, and along the way, 3 national championships for this program. Ball thrown away. That is turnover number 3 against San Francisco.
And Paris Blackwell now into the game for USF.
Number 22 checking in. Justin Holiday is checked in for the Huskies along with Tyrese Brashears. So Pondexter, the only starter on the floor for the Huskies. Suggs for 3. Comes up a little short. Deshara with the rebound for USF. And Bryan on the push, harassed by Pondexter. Nice inside feed. Deshara triple teamed and rejected. Dons will keep the ball inbounding on their own baseline.
You can see the swarming defense by Washington. There's actually 3 defenders there as Blackwell goes up for that shot.
And France, it's probably safe to say that defensively the Huskies have progressed at a faster rate than they have offensively.
Well, another statistic to look at is over the last 2 games, they've held their opponents under 70 points, which was the point of emphasis in practices after the losses to Georgetown and to Texas Tech.
Nice find by Rashad Green, who's checked in number 13, as he found Mustafa Deshara for the easy deuce. And it's a 9-7 Washington lead. Pondexter again trying to take advantage of his size, a little strong. And a rebound by Green. And Michael Williams were late getting to San Francisco's practice yesterday with some flight delays out of Los Angeles. Wild shot by Deshara. Blackwell cleans it up. 3 attempt no good that time by Vaughn, and Brashears with a rebound for the Huskies. 13 minutes left in this opening half at Bank of America Arena in Seattle. Cross-court pass to a wide-open Holiday by Pondexter. And Blackwell comes out of the pack for the Dons. San Francisco just 4-9 this season. They have not won a game away from home. Bryant inside. Nice penetration. Green, wide-open look. The penetration allowing that shot, and San Francisco with a 10-9 lead.
Well, both teams had some pretty good looks from beyond the arc and with some mid-range jump shots, but were not able to knock one down, but finally USF gets one to go.
Brashears blocked by Blackwell. Dante Bryant with the ball. On Vaughn. Good ball movement by the Dons over to Rashad Green. Again, penetration. Overplay by Brashears, nicely done. Got a hand in the lane. And the Huskies free him up out of the double team. As Bryant got inside, they got it around. The missed shot by Green. And contact inside. That's going to be a charge against Kwame Vaughn. A timeout at Bank of America Arena. San Francisco hanging with the Huskies, and in fact in front by 1. (10-9) the Dons of San Francisco leading the 22nd rated Washington Huskies. As we have 11:48 left in the first half here at Bank of America Arena. Pac-10 conference play tips off on New Year's Eve with these Huskies in action against the Tarver brothers and the Beavers of Oregon State. The next Saturday, Washington faces off with Oregon, and Washington State takes on Oregon State. Northwest rivals collide in the opening week of Pac-10 hoops right here on FSN and FSN HD. What do you think the early message, Francis, is from Lorenzo Romar to his Huskies?
Well, number one, San Francisco is more than holding their own on the boards with him, as they're getting 2 and 3 shots at the basket, so I know that's going to be 1 point with them. I think offensively, they're getting some good looks. They're just not knocking them down, but I think they've been a little stagnant because they were looking for a lot of post-ups and trying to get just some one-on-one stuff that wasn't really working because they just stand around looking at each other.
A misread there. Thomas trying to connect with Brashears. Brashears thought Thomas was going to shoot, and it results in the turnover. Quincy Pondexter out of the game, getting his first break in this contest. Vaughn inside, draws contact from Brashears, and Kwame Vaughn will head to the line. Now Brashears will be his first.
Kwame Vaughn is 6'1" sophomore out of Oakland, Skyline High School. We all know who came out of Skyline. Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
The glove.
And Tom Hanks.
Really?
Yes, Tom Hanks with the Skyline as well.
How about that?
You know, he had a good freshman year for the Dons, and they really looked to him to have a nice breakout sophomore season. Averaged almost 11 points last year as a freshman, and you know, good solid player with some size in the backcourt for the Dons.
Shoots nearly 71% at the line. Had 22 points last time out as Cal State Bakersfield came up short against the San Francisco team on the 23rd, 82-73. San Francisco on a 7-0 run right now. Brashears will try to end that with a trip to the line as He draws the foul from Lohorn.
Well, across the front line, again, the size advantage that Washington has is pretty glaring. And you see Brashears, who's a real space eater down there. I mean, he just carves out some real estate and goes up strong and draws the foul.
Foul on Lohorn, his first. Both clubs with 3 team fouls as redshirt freshman Brashears missing on that free throw. Shoots 55% on the season out of Price High School in Los Angeles, averaging just over 4 points and just under 3 rebounds per game. Gets the second. And the Huskies pull within 2. Vaughn getting a pick from Lohorn. They'll look the back door. Looked like he had some room there, but the pass was not thrown. Ball last touched by one of the Dons. Michael Williams apparently getting a hand on it, and that'll be a turnover. The 5th against San Francisco, just 1 against the Huskies.
And there's the cross-court pass there, and wow, it's kind of tough to see from that angle, which I know Thomas touched it a little bit.
To Brian Amony, trying to feed it in, find an angle to Brashears. Holiday trying to do the same. Thomas with the penetration. Holiday back to Brashears, wide open look. Nice ball movement by the Huskies, and a terrific decision by Justin Holiday, who picks up the assist as Brashears has 3 points.
And that's 2 nice plays that Holiday has made here early with regards to getting the ball to one of the post players for an easy look.
Deshara backing in on Brian Amony. Jump hook off the glass, no good. Lohorn kept it alive, but Holiday comes up with it for the Huskies. Abdul Gaddy. Nice no look to Brashears. Little strong Holiday keeps it alive. Does a terrific job of that. Got his own rebound, and he'll head to the line to get 2 free throws.
Well, it's been Scott Suggs in the previous 2 games, but you see Justin Holiday trying to get his minutes back. And you see Thomas with the pass to Holiday with the baseline drive, and he finds Brashears for the easy look. And then here, Brashears again takes it up strong, and he misses it, but there's Holiday on the glass. So Scott Suggs, you better watch out. Justin Holiday says, I'm back. I need my minutes.
Competition is ongoing. 9 of 11 from the free throw line this season is Justin Holiday as Brashears checks out. Darnell Gant returns. That last foul, by the way, was on Vaughn, his second, 4th team foul.
And of course, the 3rd player of that equation for Washington, Elston Turner, who's actually started some games early. And they just really need him to come in and shoot the ball well, because that's his skill. That's what he does.
Huskies reclaim the lead. 5 lead changes so far, 3 ties in the game. Nice look inside. Deshara wide open. Terrific pass from Dante Bryant. Gaddy with the penetration, goes strong to the hoop. Nicely done as he saw the seam. The defense for San Francisco breaking down, and Abdul Gaddy exploits it.
And earlier, we talked about him being a little hesitant. He just needs to be on the attack, and he's just going to have to learn as he goes.
Now 7 lead changes. Steal by Brian Amony, and the foul against Mustafa Deshara.
And defensively, you see Washington getting a little bit more active here. Get a couple buckets to fall. Of course, the defense gets better. But we know that they can be suffocating, particularly in the half-court defense, when they really get out in the passing lanes with the length and the athleticism that they have.
So Matthew Brian Amony make his way to the Husky bench as Pondexter returns. San Francisco in his zone defense. Nice look. Open. Pondexter. 4-3. Abdul Gaddy with the assist.
Well, we haven't talked much about Quincy Pondexter here early, but averaging up 22 points a game, almost double figures in rebounds, having a great senior season for Washington.
12th in the nation in scoring. 25 points, 13 rebounds in that win against A&M. Hilario no good. And Gant comes up with a rebound. Traveling by Thomas. Good job by Calario positioning himself where he wasn't too close to Thomas, but gave Isaiah something to think about when he turned and saw the defender right there.
Yep, very clear. And Gant with the rebound. And just a fundamental mistake. Turn and look. Don't turn and dribble.
Second turnover against the Huskies. 6 against San Francisco. 8:48 left in the first half. Washington with a 4-point lead. Gant on the overplay. Knocks it loose. It will remain San Francisco ball.
And it's one thing Washington can do with their big guys like Gant, for example, at 6'9", that have the ability to come out and get in passing lanes and really provide a lot of pressure.
Bryant guarded by Gaddy. Deshara at the high post. Michael Williams. Shot clock at 10. Bryant guarded by Gaddy. Shot clock at 5. Inside to Deshara in a bad place. Got it up and in though. Nicely done by Mustafa Deshara.
Nice job by Bryant as well, because he was in a little bit of distress also.
Holiday on the miss. And Lohorn will get credit for the rebound.
Have to defer to the big guy when you
have to do it.
Let him have that rebound.
And a senior. It's a very young San Francisco team, loaded with freshmen and sophomores, as Rex Walters tries to rebuild this program. Pondexter with a steal out of the double team. Transition for the Huskies, 4-on-2. Gaddy inside. Was strong, but Pondexter there to clean it up.
You see Pondexter there making 2 plays, and just indicative of the type of season he's had. He gets a steal on one end, offensive rebound, and a putback on the other end.
Quincy with 7 points, the game's leading scorer. Williams. Deshara with the pick. Lohorn inside, has the size advantage against Holiday, but stepped on the baseline, and that's turnover number 7. Check it, turnover number 8 for San Francisco. That has to be an early concern for Rex Walters. Quincy Pondexter getting hot too.
Welcome back to college basketball on FSN. The Dogs are up by 4, 20-16. And because the Dogs are taking on the Dons, that got us thinking, and we want to hear what you think. We're asking you on our Fan Pulse question, who is your favorite Don? Don Corleone, Don Juan, Don Quixote. Remember, it was published in 2 volumes, a decade apart. Don Juan, the famous womanizer, or Don Knotts. And Tom and Francis, I think I'm partial to Don Knotts, and I'll send it back to you with a little Furley sniff.
I've got to give a second vote as well to Don Knotts.
My favorite Don's not on the list.
And?
Don Cornelius.
Oh, very good. I like it. Soul Train, outstanding. That could be 4A for your options. We are back underway as we approach the 7-minute mark left in the first half here at Bank of America Arena. Isaiah Thomas dribbling out of the double team. And I tell you, that corner has been open quite a bit for the Huskies as Suggs misses there. Deshara with the rebound. And Williams quickly into front court for San Francisco. Angelo Calerio, double team. Finding Williams, inside to Deshara. Rejected by Pondexter, goes up again, sticking with it. Battling for the ball. One official calling a held ball, another calling the foul, and the foul will prevail against Mustafa Deshara, number 21. Second foul on Deshara, 6th team foul, just 3 team fouls against the Huskies.
Well, the fact that the Dons have been able to hold their own on the glass with Washington is one of the reasons why right now it's only a 4-point cushion for the Huskies.
Open look for Thomas, misfiring. Gant can't control the ball. Nice tip by Williams over to Dante Bryant. Very encouraging first half up to this point for San Francisco. Dexter knocking it out of the hands of Deshara. Calerio checked out briefly. He'll return as Deshara checks out, and there are the early results. Don Knotts leading the way over Don Corleone.
Barney Fife.
Mayberry RFD. What can I tell you?
Well, with all the pressure that Washington is applying, USF, San Francisco, they need to look for some back cuts. I mean, they just seem to be coming further and further out on the wing and begging for the basketball instead of going ahead and making some back cuts or, getting some screening action with some back screens.
Fell on Thomas, his second, 4th team foul against the Huskies. New clock for the Dons. Bryant. Open in the corner, Williams. Benoit Overton with the rebound. And the push. And the alley-oop to Pondexter. He saw that play. As soon as he got the basketball, he knew exactly what he was going to do.
Exactly. That's a great job, a great example by Quincy Pondexter of running in the backcourt and getting himself into that lane to make himself available for that layup.
Huskies lead by 6. And Overton tripping up Bryant. And Overton will pick up his second foul.
And you see Overton probing the floor, and we didn't see it in the picture there, but Quincy Pondexter did a great job of running hard out of the backcourt, getting into the front court to make himself available for the layup.
Pondexter, the first player into double figures with 11 points. Williams. Lohorn wanted the ball, got it, goes to work on Gant, held by Brashears, terrific defense by Therese Brashears.
Well, the scouting report says that when Dior Lohorn gets the basketball, he's probably not going to give it up, that he's going to look to score. So you see right here, he's really got 2 guys giving him attention, and Brashears just comes across the lane as the help side defender and sends it back to him.
Gant got a little bit of that ball before Brashears got there. Darnell takes a seat on the bench. Suggs back for the Huskies. Thomas to Overton. Nice cut by Vinoy Overton. And a nice find by Thomas. The Huskies on a 15-4 run over the last 6 minutes. And the lead is up to 8.
Well, that's great ball movement and good player movement by Washington that time. And a nice job by Thomas to find Overton cutting along the baseline there.
Bryant. Up with number of 11s matched up. Big size difference, though. Calario missing inside. Matthew Brian Amity. He can handle the ball pretty well for a big guy. Kick on that play against Bryant. So remain Washington basketball.
And Thomas with the penetration and a cut along the baseline caught Bryant with his head turned. And Overton goes to the basket for the layup. And you should mention that with 4:43 left here in the first half, at almost 19 points a game, Isaiah Thomas is scoreless here in the first half.
0 for 3 from the floor is Thomas. Suggs getting the pick from Brian Amity. And traveled. Pulled that pivot foot just a bit. But when you pull it right in front of the official, even if it's by a small amount, you're going to get nailed, and he was. Kwame Vaughn. Over to Bryant. San Francisco kind of having a hard time offensively finding something, but they do find Lohorn. That is within his range. Overton. 4-on-4 break. Thomas the trailer. Nice look inside. Brashears with a flush.
And Isaiah Thomas really showing us a little different part of his game. There's a couple of nice passes that he's made in the half-court offense.
And it's always interesting, Francis, I think, to watch a scorer when he has gone scoreless for an extended stretch. Does he try to force things, try to get that basket as Lohorn misses? And Thomas has not been doing that.
No, not at all. He's done a very nice job of being patient, finding open teammates. There's another assist for Thomas.
3-ball. Vinoy Overton now with 5 points. And a timeout is taken by San Francisco with the Huskies with their largest lead at 29-16. On a roll right now as Vinoy Overton has really provided a nice spark off the bench for the Huskies. Washington on an 11-0 run. Overton to Thomas to Brashears. And then Thomas again.
And there have been times when Thomas knows that he can get in the paint and penetrate whenever he wants to, but he's got to trust his teammate, and that time he gives the ball to Overton for a wide open look from behind the arc, and Overton knocks it down. And so that's the confidence that Washington needs Overton to play with as well.
If you're a fan of the purple and gold, you won't want to miss Huskies All Access here on FSN. It's insider coverage of University of Washington athletics on and off the court with exclusive interviews, game analysis, and player profiles. Catch an all-new episode Tuesday at 7:30 only on FSN. Well, a critical 3+ minutes coming up for San Francisco. They can keep this thing relatively close, or it could get ugly in a hurry. The Dons have not scored over the last 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
San Francisco had a 13-6 rebounding advantage early, but the Huskies have now evened that up at 18 rebounds apiece and have definitely kept USF off the offensive glass here over these last 5 minutes.
Good job by Rashad Green getting to the rack, drawing the foul. He'll head to the line, and his team needs the points, down by 13.
That's Eldridge Ricasner. You've got Shag Williams, Kevin Vedato, David Wilson. Shag is further right. Shag is right there. That's Shag. Kevin Vedato and Mike Hayward. That's Mike Hayward right there. So I'll just let you know who they are. Oh, and that's Phil Zevenbergen. Yeah, right there. Yep.
So I'll just do a real quick score and set up Francis to intro these guys. .314 left in the first half at Bank of America Arena. The 22nd rated Washington Huskies in front of San Francisco by 13. You can't teach old dogs new tricks, but old dogs will return home.
There are some old dogs in the building with it being the holiday time, and a little mini reunion going on over there behind the Husky bench. You see this group of players here starting there to your right with that guy right there. That's Phil Zevenbergen. You have Shag Williams, who played here, Mike Hayward, David Wilson, Kevin Vedato, and the guy right there in the middle with the hat on, that's Eldridge Ricasner. Eldridge is going to be inducted into the Pac-10 Hall of Fame during the Pac-10 tournament in March down in LA. So congratulations to Eldridge.
Absolutely. You look at his career assists, 4th all-time here at the UW, and a guy that's a regular in attending these games. Good to see that entire group here cheering on their club, and so far so good as Rashad Green, a sophomore out of North Babylon, New York. Misses that first free throw, shoots 73% from the line. That guy looks a little familiar too. I think he played here.
Yeah, Mr. Detlef Shrimp.
Number 11 back in the house here. He provided so many terrific moments.
Yeah. His son Alex, walk-on down at UCLA, freshman this year.
Elston Turner in the game for the first time for the Huskies. With the ball over to Brian Amening. Dexter getting position down low on Paris Blackwell. Elevating in and out. There's that very active Justin Holiday trying to keep it alive for the Huskies. Bryant. Green guarded by Overton. Bryant in trouble with a foot in the paint. Gets it out to Green. Stolen. Nice job by Elston Turner, who's done a nice job defensively in recent games. Matthew Brian Amening. Couldn't quite get that reverse to go off the feed from Overton. Williams to Bryant to Blackwell. Contact and the charge. Easy call for the officials as Matthew Brian Amening did a good job getting himself established.
Well, it's Turner, Suggs, and Holiday that have really been competing for some of those minutes that we talked about. Justin Holiday has come in and done a great job. Made a couple nice passes, got on the offensive glass. That time we saw Elston Turner get in defensive rotation and get that steal. So on the one hand, although maybe Suggs had separated himself somewhat and his minutes have gone up to 22 minutes, again, it gives you an indication of the type of depth that Washington does have, because all of those guys are really capable of coming in at any time and providing what Washington needs.
Holiday strong to the glass. Nicely done, absolutely. Benoit Overton has checked out, and Abdul Gaddy has returned. Gaddy with the defense on Dante Bryant right at midcourt. Huskies up by 14. Lohorn wanted the alley-oop. Going into Elston, Turner could not finish.
The Huskies doing a great job of being physical with Lowhorn, and right now he's a little frustrated. He made that first shot, and since then he's really struggled, as he is 1 for 9 from the floor, so he's 0 for 8 after making that first one.
Brian Ammoning with the travel in the low post. Just the 3rd turnover. Check it, 4th turnover against the Huskies, 10 against San Francisco. Other team having great success shooting from the floor, but Washington certainly much better than San Francisco. The Dogs at nearly 42%. San Francisco just 6 of 25, 24%. Not made a field goal in the last 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
The Washington defense has been very strong. A couple of instances where Overton has come in and picked up the defensive pressure, but for the most part, it's been a nice team effort by Washington just to continue to apply the pressure.
Williams drives baseline. Bashir's cutting it off. Green for 3. Rebound by Gaddy. So the struggles from the floor continue for the Dimes. Pondexter gets the pick from Bashir's. He backs out. Shears finds some room, draws contact, nicely done. He's doing a really good job tonight getting position and really playing under control in that low block.
Yeah, and I like the way that he's attacking the basket, but he's doing it, as you said, he's doing it under control. I mean, he's a big body and understands that, but his first movements when he gets the ball are very quick. And with the girth that he plays with, I mean, he's just a load down there. He's going to carve out space, and he's going to be tough to get around. So it's real important for him to be a good foul shooter because he's going to spend a lot of time there.
Shoots 55% coming into the game. Holiday out for the Huskies. Thomas returning. Shears, as you see, with 6 points. Last foul, by the way, on Blackwell for San Francisco. That's his 2nd. 18 fouls against the Dons. The Huskies with 6. 16-point Husky lead as they have nearly doubled up USF, leading 33-17. A 3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. A foul on Turner, and that will send Calerio to the line. First personal against Turner. This is the 7th team foul. Angelo Calerio, 72% at the line. Best shooter probably when you just look at the perimeter numbers in terms of what he does.
Yeah, we saw him back down a 3 early. And USF has actually had some good looks from behind 3, some wide open looks, but Green knocked down his first one, but then he's gone 0 for 3 since that time. Clario's missed a couple of wide open looks as well.
Rashad Green has returned for USF. Same story for Tomas Bruja as he returns. Freshman out of Prague in the Czech Republic. And Calerio gets both free throws. 14-point Husky lead, and they can play for the last shot. Addy over to Thomas. San Francisco in a zone defense, a 1-3-1. 5 seconds. Thomas with the penetration. Tip by Brashears is good. Just before the buzzer. Tyrese Brashears with a terrific first half with 9 points off the Husky bench as Washington outscores San Francisco 17-3 over the final 8 minutes and 9 seconds in the opening half. San Francisco hung early, but since that time, it has been all Washington. Welcome back to Bank of America Arena at halftime as we close in on the start of the second half. The 22nd rated Washington Huskies with a commanding 35-19 lead over the Dons of San Francisco, and that lead thanks in part to their leading scorer, Quincy Pondexter.
Well, Washington got off to a bit of a sluggish start, but Pondexter doing some nice things. We saw him on just a one-on-one, just overpowering the defender. Then he gets a steal on one end, he gets a layup on the other as he gets out and runs hard in transition. We saw Isaiah Thomas play a nice floor game in the first half. We see him finding Benoit Overton along the baseline, and then a good look there by Abdul Gaddy to Tyrese Bashirs, who had 9 points in the first half.
So Bashirs and Overton off the bench combining for 14 points, but Quincy Pondexter leading the way. No surprise for the Huskies as he had 11 to go along with 4 rebounds. As you look at the stats dominated by the Huskies, the field goal percentage certainly a concern for USF coach Rex Walters. 10 turnovers too many, 12 points off of those turnovers for the Huskies. And in the paint, the purple paint, purple and gold domination as the Huskies have outscored San Francisco 24-6. Right now, let's head courtside, check in with Angie. She's had a chance to catch up with that man, Lorenzo Romar. Angie?
Yeah, Tom, and he said that they can't afford to start the second half like they did the first half. He said 2 things that haunt them. 1, not alert on defense, and 2, not sharing the ball. Once they regrouped defensively, started to get in the hands of people's faces, and started sharing the ball, things started to turn around.
All right, Quincy Pondexter will lead his Huskies back out on the court to start the second half, along with Abdul Gaddy, Isaiah Thomas, Darnell Gant, and Matthew Bryan Ammoning. For San Francisco, Lohorn with the ball, Calario, and right there Dante Bryant, Mustafa Deshara, and Michael Williams inside to Lohorn, double teamed and fouled by Darnell Gant. So a quick foul here in the second half. First foul line, Gant. Deshara.
Well, you would expect the Dons to continue to go to Lohorn because he's their principal scorer, but I think he's got to do a better job of recognizing that he is going to be double teamed. They have someone basically shadowing him at all times above and beyond the person that's assigned to him defensively man-to-man. And if he can do a little bit better job of maybe getting some of the other guys involved, maybe that 1 for 9 that he did in the first half, that percentage will go up. But he's got to be trusting in his teammates and get the ball to them, and they've got to knock down shots.
71% free throw shooter is Mustafa Deshara. Deshara out of Marseille, France, by way of Sheridan Junior College in Wyoming. Rebound by Matthew Bryan Ammoning, who had just picked up the foul, his second. Gaddy, ball knocked away by Bryant, and then the foul on Dante Bryant, senior. So 3 fouls in the first 24 seconds of this second half.
You would expect USF to try to turn up the pressure a little bit. As Gaddy, being the freshman, he can be a little loose with the basketball sometimes. So you see him come out with the half-court trap. He does a nice job of handling it, and then Bryan Ammoning blows the dunk.
Bryant, look inside. Deshara rejected by Pondexter. Second attempt, no good, but fouled, and he'll get right back to the line as Darnell Gant gets another foul. 2 in this half for Gant. And 3 quick team fouls for the Huskies, and we're not even a minute into this second half.
Well, just as Washington is preparing for league play, San Francisco is doing the same thing. And they don't have their first league game until January 10th. Or I'm sorry, January 8th. But right now they need some leadership from their seniors, in particularly Lohorn. You know, as they try to get some of these youngsters through playing in this environment as they try to get ready for conference play also.
Gant to the bench. Tyrese Bashirs in for the Huskies. Thomas inside. Nice find to Gaddy. Passed up the first look, took the second, got it. Abdul Gaddy with 6 points on 3 of 6 shooting to go along with 3 rebounds and an assist. Freshman out of Bellarmine Prep in Tacoma.
And that's another nice floor play by Isaiah Thomas to find Gaddy for that look. And a nice job by Gaddy to use the glass. Good to see that. 3
assists for Isaiah Thomas. Still scoreless in the game. Deshara backing in on Bashirs. Nice move.
Nice move. That's a nice move. Did a nice job of surveying the defense. No help came, so he went to work.
9 points for Deshara. Thomas looking for 3. Calario with the rebound for the Dons. Washington with a 15-point lead. Bryant on the push.
The way Washington rebounds the ball, USF did a nice job of contesting them on the glass in the first half, but couldn't make shots. And if they continue to just hold their own with them on the glass and get some shots to fall, the opportunity might be there. As you see here, cross court on the skip pass, and Lohorn's posted up. And this time the help was a little late getting there, and he has the presence to kiss it off the glass and absorb the foul.
Abdul Gaddy, a quick trip to the bench, replaced by Vinoy Overton.
And the reason he's sitting on the bench, aside from the foul, is that he was late. He was late on his rotation, and like a lot of freshmen, he has really struggled on the defensive end with some of his assignments, but he has to be there and cannot be late in his rotation.
14 fouls on the Huskies. As you get a look at Abdul Gaddy, Lohorn, that last field goal, just his second in 10 attempts. His 5 points into the game. San Francisco, an early 6-2 run in this second half, trailing by 12. Thomas, open for three is Overton. Michael Williams keeping it alive for San Francisco to Kwame Vaughn, who's checked in. To Bryant for three. Williams over the back of Thomas, an easy call. The foul against Williams. That'll be the second team foul against San Francisco. Well, for those of you that watch the latest Seahawks disaster at Lambeau Field, 48-10 loss to the Packers. Good to have you along for some college basketball. In Bank of America Arena, Quincy Pondexter committing a foul on Calerio as the Washington Huskies, 22nd rated team in the nation, taking on the Dons of San Francisco and leading San Francisco 37-25. First ever meeting between these clubs, believe it or not, and the Huskies looking for the 1600th win in program history. And it was earlier this week that Kentucky became the first NCAA program to reach 2,000 wins.
Yep, and as Angie mentioned, Oregon State got their 1,600th win last week.
Overton fouled on the drive to the hoop, so quite likely that come Thursday night, two teams with exactly 1,600 wins will go head-to-head in the Pac-10 opener. Nicely done by Overton as he helped protect the equipment. We appreciate that.
Well, Overton always on the push in the open court. And, of course, you're taught if no one stops you to take the ball all the way to the glass. And sometimes even when they try to stop him, he's still trying to get to the basket. But that's what they want from him, is to always push the ball in transition and defensively just be a tenacious on-the-ball defender and just wreak havoc and pick up the tempo.
Vinoy Jr. out of Franklin High School in Seattle. 68% free throw shooter. Hit some big ones down the stretch against Texas A&M the other night. And he gives the Huskies a 39-25 lead. Overton with 7 points. A couple of substitutions for San Francisco. Bryant with the ball, looking down low for Lohorn. Held by Brashears. And just like that, 16 fouls already against the Huskies. And certainly a point of frustration for Lorenzo Romar. Rashad Green to inbound. Got it into Kwame Vaughn. And double teamed. Harassed by Overton. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 20 seconds. Lohorn can't get the position against Brashears. Bryant with an open look. Bill Runner draws body, but no foul on Brashears. Loose ball, Lohorn with it. He gets bumped, goes up strong, and puts it in.
That's a nice job by Lohorn to stay with it. Bryant probably turned down a better shot than the one that he ended up taking, but Lohorn there on the offensive glass.
7 points for the senior. Overton with the penetration and the kick to Thomas. Inside, nice pass to Brashears. Looked like he was going up for the shot, but he really is dialed in, I think, to the goal of penetrating and finding an open teammate. Shot no good that time by Vaughn. Inside, Lohorn back and in. Kwame Vaughn with the penetration that time, and it was Dior Lohorn who's really starting to come alive now for USF. Pondexter, nice crossover in the fade, although he slipped as he got the shot off, but got it to go.
And that's the type of year Pondexter's had. As you said, he's off balance and losing his footing, but he gets it to drop.
13 points for Pondexter.
And you would expect Lowhorn, as we mentioned, being a senior, been a pretty close to a 20-point scorer both of the last 2 seasons for USF. And he's a 48% shooter from the floor. So you know that 1 for 9 was a bit of an aberration. That's not typically how he plays.
There's a long range shot. Overton on the spin. Numbers for the Dons. Green, a little strong, but the block will go against Thomas, and Rashad Green will head to the line. So a timeout with 15-12 left in the second half. Isaiah Thomas to Tyrese Brashears, who's contributed 11.
Welcome back to the Huskies and Dons here on FSN. We wanted to update you on the Texas A&M player who broke his tibia and his fibia against the Dogs in their last game. Everybody saw the gruesome injury, and we don't need to see it again. You might wonder why he went to Harborview instead of the UW Hospital, which is right across the street. But Harborview has one of the best trauma centers in the world. A rep from Texas told me within a minute, 4 doctors from the UW were down to Roland, and by the time the team was in the locker room post-game, Roland was already going into surgery. It happened that fast. Derek Roland was able to go back to Texas A&M on Christmas Day. He's in College Station, but they hope to transfer him to Dallas, which is his hometown, a hospital there to finish his recovery. His college career likely over, guys, but they are hopeful that he will get or will make a full recovery and continue to play basketball in some capacity.
All right, Ange, thanks so much. The hope for a medical red shirt. I don't know enough about the NCAA and how it operates and how they might view that situation for Derek Roland, but it's great to hear that everything post-injury has gone so well, and looking about a 4 to 5 month recovery.
Yeah, I had a chance to speak with Pooh Williamson, one of the assistant coaches down at Texas A&M, and you know, the main emphasis was the fact that, as Angie mentioned, there were doctors with that young man, you know, less than a minute after that injury happened, and they all knew exactly what to do. In that trauma unit that they have at Harborview, world-renowned, and it's great that they were able to get him there and get him into surgery so quickly. So we wish him the best, and you know, we wish the Texas A&M program the best, because that was a traumatic injury that they had to absorb that night here, and the Husky guys were affected by it as well.
Darnell Gant hitting his first shot of the game, and the Huskies lead by 14. Rashad Green with the ball, joined in the backcourt by number 1, Kwame Vaughn. And a foul will go against Clarence Trent, who has checked in for his first action, number 12 for the Huskies, the freshman. Played his junior season of high school ball down at Gig Harbor, and made his last stop at the Patterson School, North Carolina, I believe.
Yep, and just needs to come out. He's not trying to come over and draw a charge. Just come over and show and give his teammates some help, but a little aggressive there with the defensive help.
And with Trent in, the Huskies have now used 11 players, and Washington already at 18 fouls, so just 2 away from the double bonus, and just at the 14-21 mark. 12-point lead for the Huskies after the free throws by Kwame Vaughn. Holiday guarded by Calario. Inside to Trent, out of the triple team, finds Thomas, a little strong, and the rebound by Deshar. Looked like he hopped on the 1 foot, which looked like it may have been a travel. Vaughn penetrating and finding Green. Nice hesitation move by Green. And the Dons down by just 10, and then Green drawing the foul.
Now, it may have been a travel, but that's a hustle play that Rex Walters is going to love, that his team tracked down that loose ball and ended up getting a layup on the other end. That's the type of play that he's looking for. And Lowhorn's on the bench now. He's got some guys in the game, Paris Blackwell among others, that he wants to come in and provide a little bit of energy. Blackwell's been a starter, but they didn't start him today, and he might be put in a position where he needs to come off the bench and provide some spark for USF.
San Francisco on a 6-2 run. Thomas misfiring from 3-point range. Saved by Vaughn to Calario, and San Francisco and get this advantage down to single digits.
And a good job by Vaughn again to go track down those long rebounds, and that's giving the Dons the opportunity to stay in this basketball game by not letting Washington get 2 and 3 shots at the basket.
And well, this will be a trip to the line regardless. 9th team foul against the Huskies. Kwame Vaughn will head to the stripe. The foul on Abdul Gaddy, his second. Gaddy limited in minutes in the game against Texas A&M. Picked up his 4th foul in that contest early in the second half. Vaughn 4 for 4 at the line tonight. Shooting nearly 71% on the season. Scott Suggs returning for the Huskies as Justin Holiday will check out. Elston Turner in the game now for Washington as well. So the lineup for the Huskies: Turner, Suggs, Trent, Gaddy, and Brashears. All reserves off of Lorenzo Romar's bench as San Francisco is within 9 points in this game.
So you have 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores on the floor for Washington right now. Brashears being a redshirt freshman.
Triple teamed. And Calerio may get called for the foul, much to the disappointment of Rex Walters. That entire Dons bench came up thinking that they had a clean play. Let's head courtside and check in with Angie.
Tom, Coach Romar said going into this game that he feels that he's been able to solidify the first 7, but every guy to the last man could be a starter. You see a guy like Clarence Trent, maybe he's getting the fewest minutes, but that's only because he's still learning the system. Say if he had been in this system for a year or so, he could be starting on this team. So you just mentioned the gentlemen, and they're in there now. So many combinations and so many different changes. They could go as deep as 10 or 11. Coach Romar feels about this team.
And as you were talking, a change as Trent goes out. Quincy Pondexter returns. Right into Quincy, an open play, and that's about as easy as you're going to get in a college basketball game.
Yeah, let me check into the game and get a bucket right quick to stop all this nonsense.
Yeah, Walters certainly, Coach Walters not happy with that defense on the inbound play as Washington's lead is back at 11. Pondexter with a game-high 15 points. Nice penetration and find Paris Blackwell and one. As Blackwell goes up strong. 6'8", 240 freshman out of Etiwanda, California, and Etiwanda High School.
Well, Dante Bryant, #1 with the find. That's his 5th assist. And Paris Blackwell, as we mentioned, has been a starter, came off the bench today. Etiwanda High School, Southern California. Now there's a school that sends 2 guys to this last NBA draft. Darren Collison and Jeff Pendergraft both played at Etiwanda, and they produced a lot of good teams and a lot of good players over the years.
Scott Suggs from the corner, no good. Rebound by Lohorn. San Francisco trying to generate some momentum. Michael Williams with the open look, but fumbled the ball. Goes for 2 instead and nails it. And just like that, the Dons down by only 7 at 47-40 as we approach 12 minutes left in the second half here at Edmondson Pavilion.
Well, the defensive intensity has not been there for Washington here in the second half, #1, and has allowed USF to get some confidence. And right now, they're playing well, and again, giving Washington, for the most part, only 1 shot.
And numbers 4 on 2. Williams open look for 3. Got it! Michael Williams and the Dons down by just 4, courtesy of back-to-back baskets by that man, #5, Michael Williams, as the Huskies' lead has been cut to 47-43 with 11:43 left in the second half. The Dons doing damage against the Dogs. College basketball on FSN is brought to you by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better banking. And by Quest. Our internet customers get free Quest Wi-Fi powered by AT&T Wi-Fi. The Dons of San Francisco on a 12-2 run over the last 2:38, and they are right back in this game against the 22nd rated Huskies. And Francis, I don't believe Michael Williams learned his shooting style from any DVD instructional videos. There's a nice play down in the low post by Blackwell, but you know, it's almost got a little old Jamal Wilkes there, the way he kind of adjusts that shot as it's going up.
Well, good release, good rotation, but more importantly, I think the confidence that he shot those last two balls with.
From his team playing with confidence right now, down by just 4. The Dons shooting just 23% in the first half, 53% so far in this half. Thomas inside. Suggs open in the corner, passed up the shot. Got about an entry pass to Matthew Bryan Ammoning. Shot clock at 6. Thomas faking the long 3. Corner to Suggs for 3. Got it.
That's a big time shot. That was actually a good defensive sequence for the Dons as they kept Thomas out of the lane twice as he tried to get penetration. They took a shot away from Quincy Pondexter as he looked for one, and now up against the shot clock, Suggs knocks down a big 3.
First basket by Scott in the game. Lowhorn coming out to set the pick. Bryan inside to Williams. He penetrates. Nice find inside to Blackwell. Rejected though inside by Bryan Ammoning, but Lowhorn cleans up the mess inside for San Francisco, and the Dons are fired up. There's two guys getting ready to check into the ball game. Deshara and Calerio came to their feet on that play. Pondexter tied up inside and 1. Fouled by Blackwell. Big time play by Quincy Pondexter, now with 17 points. Scott Suggs with a big 3, and the Huskies trying to get some breathing room again. Washington with a 7-point lead over San Francisco. 10:21 left in the second half, and inside, Elston Turner finds Quincy Pondexter, who showed some strength. That's that off-season weight room that comes into play, Francis.
Yeah, well, he played through the foul and has a chance to go to the line for the 3-point play. And that's the type of leadership that he's shown all season long. And here's twice when the Dons have made a run, and Quincy Pondexter has come in and gotten a bucket for the Huskies. But right now, we've got a 7-point game with a little over 10 minutes to go. So right now, we've got a good one.
Let's take a look at our U.S. Marines leaders of the game. Quincy Pondexter, by the way, with that last hoop, has just passed his assistant coach, Paul Fortier. And there's Paul for a 16th all-time scoring here at the University of Washington. So Paul is now simply known as number 17.
Yep.
He drops down a notch. And the Huskies lead by 8 after the Pondexter free throw. Quincy with 18 points. 3-ball, no good that time for the Dons. And Pondexter. Nice overplay by Bryant. Looking for some help. Good job by Thomas to knock that ball away and allow the rest of his teammates to get back on defense.
You see Washington goes into a 2-3 zone these last 2 possessions by USF. And you don't see much zone from Washington.
Deshara with a nice reverse lay-in for the Dons, who are back within 6 now. Turner, feet inside. Bryan Ammoning, the spin. Nice touch off the glass by Matthew Bryan Ammoning, who now has 5 points to go along with 3 rebounds.
When he's patient and not in a hurry, he can do some damage on the post.
Calerio, nice find inside, but Lowhorn could not come up with a handle, and it's a turnover for San Francisco. First turnover this half for the Dons. Good structure taking care of the basketball until that one. Suggs with a lob inside. Bryan Ammoning. 3 Dons around him to Suggs for the 3-ball. A little strong. Pondexter with the offensive rebound, and again the strength, but a held ball is called, and the possession arrow pointing to San Francisco.
Well, we'll tie up on the rebound with Lowhorn and Pondexter, but Quincy Pondexter is just so active And that's one of the reasons why he's having such a great senior breakout season here. I mean, he's just perpetual motion. He never stops moving and going after, whether it's going after loose balls or going after offensive rebounds. When they're in offensive sets, moving without the basketball, he just never stops moving, and his activity is what's making him so successful this year.
4 rebounds in the game for Pondexter. Huskies led by the 6 from Tyrese Brashears. Tommy Vaughn, number 1, is returned to the Dons lineup, replacing Bryant. Nice find inside, but Overton with a quick hand strips it away from Lowhorn. To Thomas. Inside, draws contact and walk. Isaiah Thomas reaching to the crowd saying, finally, a basket after missing his first 7 shots.
Yep. And I think, number 1, he finally gets a basket to drop, but more importantly, Isaiah Thomas has been finding Overton most of the day, but you see Overton do a nice job of passing the basketball ahead, and pretty much whenever Isaiah Thomas has a one-on-one situation, he's either going to score, get fouled, or both.
Isaiah Thomas unable to complete the 3-point play while he's having his issues scoring. 6 assists, a game-high 6 assists so far for Thomas.
And Washington goes back to the man-to-man, which is their base defense. They can come with pressure, and now they create another turnover.
And numbers. Thomas driving off balance as he went down. Turner inside. He draws contact, and he'll head to the line. So Thomas bailed out by Turner, and Elston will head to the stripe.
Situation there. That's one time today where I don't think Isaiah Thomas made the best decision. They had a 3-on-1. He had the ball in the middle. He had two guys coming on each wing. He really had Overton streaking on the right side, who may have been able to give 2 for a layup.
Fell on Blackwell, his 4th. It's the 8th team foul against USF. Thomas drive on that last play. Saw him, that right ankle kind of gave way on his way up.
You see Overton, who was right there just in the left part of the screen, may have been able to drop it off to him for a layup, but we hope that ankle's okay.
Turner 1 for 2 at the line. The Husky lead at 11 at 58-47. Rashad Green stripped. Turner over his head to Overton.
Nice
to
job.
Amity.
And Benoit Overton. That's 2 steals he's gotten here in the last 3 possessions for USF. Nice job of dropping it off to Brian Manning for the dunk. That's what Benoit Overton brings to this Washington program.
Another example in which defense can sometimes trigger your very best offense.
Well, Overton creates the loose ball, and Turner will get credit for the steal. But a nice job in the open court of Overton to feed Brian Manning. Give the big fellas what they deserve when they run the floor hard.
Great over the head pass by Turner, knowing that Overton was ahead. Huskies on a 7-0 run and now lead by 13. For Matthew Bryan Ammoning, 7 points in the game. 2 Huskies in double figures. Those guys loved that play, didn't they? Overton and Turner. Pondexter with 18 and Brashears with 11. Lowhorn and Deshara with 11 each to pace San Francisco. 10 Huskies have scored so far in the game. Vaughn guarded by Pondexter. He's double teamed over to Williams. We'll see if the Dons have another run in them. Green working on Turner. The spin. Nice move inside by Rashad Green. 6'4" sophomore out of North Babylon, New York. Green with 10 points as he's into double figures now. Bryan Ammoning inside. Block. Getting it back. Going up strong. And 1.
And that's 5 on Blackwell.
And it is on Paris Blackwell, and that will end his afternoon of basketball here in Seattle. Matthew Bryan Ammoning sticking with it inside and getting the payoff with his team up now by 13. We didn't get a white Christmas in Seattle, but it has been a sunny stretch of weather in Seattle. Welcome back to Bank of America Arena. The Washington Huskies with a 13-point lead over the Dons of San Francisco with 7:16 left in the second half. Fan Pulse question for you. Who is the UW's biggest challenger for the Pac-10 title? A, California, B, USC, or C, those 10-2 Washington State Cougars? Text us. Let us know what you think at 95323. What do you think, Mr. Williams?
Well, it was Washington and Cal in the preseason by the media and the coaches, but you better keep your eye on those Trojans. Over the last 10 days, they've really gotten themselves together. They got Leonard Washington and Mike Garrity and Alex Stevenson, got all of them eligible now and ready to play, and they look real good. They knocked Tennessee off, who was 8th in the nation at the time. They got a big win over UNLV. So keep your eye on the Trojans. They seem to be, getting fully up to speed with their entire roster and getting ready to make a push.
Kwame Vaughn rejected by Elston Turner. Obviously, this will unfold, but I think what's going to be interesting is how many teams will the Pac-10 get into the tournament. Certainly, by the way they play the rest of the way is going to go a long way in that, in what is considered a, quote, down year for the conference.
Right.
Nice play right there by Brian Ammoning, and the Huskies in transition again. Overton strong to the glass, but at the under portion of the rim. San Francisco on the counterattack. Vaughn knocked away by Turner. Last touch by one of the Huskies. It will remain USF ball.
Overton comes up a little bit short on trying to continue to attack the rim as always, and USF comes back the other direction and almost turns it over, but they're still only down 13, and you say only, as long as that three-point line is out there, they're still within striking distance.
Overton again, the defense, 3-on-2 break, Huskies. Turner inside, and one. Well, the Huskies just showing this athleticism that permeates the roster.
Well, you see
very deep team.
You see Overton with the denial, and then just the athleticism, as you said, to go up and get the steal. And Elston Turner takes the ball to the basket strong. He's able to fend off the defender and draw the foul, and has a chance for the three-point play and can increase the lead to 16, but he misses.
Turner with 3 points. 6:30 left here in the second half. Lowhorn looking for an outlet and finds it in Green. Out to Vaughn, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Bishar with a screen out high. And
that's a foul. Oh!
Change to a held ball. Possession arrow pointing in favor of the Huskies.
Boy, I would have thought that he reached across his body there. Has his hand on the ball there. I don't know. It seems like with him reaching across the body, even though he did have his hand on the ball, that would have been a foul.
Well, NBA made his case. It was the other official who gave him the call. He steals for Vinoy Overton. Vinoy with the penetration. Nice find to Matthew. Brian Ammoning with the flush.
He did miss that one. Missed one earlier.
66-49 Huskies. Brian Ammoning with 11 points. The third Husky into double figures. Inside, nicely done by Rashad Green. Green having a nice game as he is in double figures, now with 12. This is a guy that if they can get consistently strong play out of in the conference, that will be huge for the Huskies, Francis, and Matthew Brian Ammoning.
Well, it's all about confidence with Brian Ammoning.
Who's the UW's biggest challenger for the Pac-10 title? Leading the way so far. Folks that have watched the Washington State Cougars jump out to a 10-2 start and got that nice overtime win the other night at Key Arena Tuesday night against the LSU Tigers. You were at that game. What were your impressions of Washington State?
Well, I was really impressed with Klay Thompson. I mean, they're going to go as far as Klay takes him. I really believe. But I mean, his ability to score the basketball, and now he's putting the ball on the floor. I mean, he's already shot more free throws at this point in the season than he did all of last year. I think last year only shot like 31 free throws for the whole season. So he's being very aggressive and really doing a lot of things that are creative things to get himself in position to score. They don't have a whole lot in the middle with regards to scoring, but Castro does a nice job defending and rebounding.
Vinoy gets a little bit of his own medicine that time as Dante Bryant strips him. For Dante Bryant, his first 2 points. Of course, with the Ken Bone style of offensive play, you're going to get more possessions and more opportunities. Reggie Moore has done a terrific job running the point for that club.
That's where I was going next. Reggie Moore has been outstanding at the point position. And once they just decide that, I mean, sure, they want to go up and down, but they have to have an identity on the defensive end as well. But, yeah, you stole my thunder on that one. Reggie Moore has been great.
Well, a guy who's delivered a lot of thunder today, Quincy Pondexter, 9 of 11 from the floor. Rejection called a foul. Matthew Bryan Ammoning thought he got all ball as he challenged Lowhorn. But Lowhorn will head to the line.
Well, you see Calerio with the nice pass to get the ball to Lowhorn. And
looked clean to me.
Looked clean on the replay.
Very clean, in fact. And if you're a Husky, you can tolerate it a bit more, up by 15, as opposed to being in a nail-biter. Thank you, Brian Ammoning, with 1 block. Of course, leads the Huskies in that category, just averaging over a block and a half per game. Lowhorn's work done at the line, and the Dons within 13 for Lowhorn, the leading scorer for the San Francisco club. He has 13, averaging just over 19 per game.
It's a little half-court trap here by USF. Give Washington something different to look at and maybe create a turnover.
Thomas misfiring, and Quincy Pondexter elevating to get the rebound and then elevating to get the basket.
Well, that's the danger you have of going into the trap or into the zone. You have to have somebody on that backside to be a tough weak side rebounder. And when you got Quincy Pondexter crashing on the weak side offensively, it could be a tough chore for that person trying to be that rebounder on the defensive end.
22 points and 5 rebounds for Quincy. Huskies lead by 15. Out of the double team, a near steal by Thomas. Shot clock at 8. Penetration inside, nicely done by Dante Bryant.
Dante Bryant's been pretty solid in this game. 6 assists, if I'm not mistaken. Done some nice things. You know, went to Jefferson High School in Portland before he went to junior college down in Arizona. So another product for the Jefferson Democrats.
Descharo with the foul against Thomas. When we come back, Isaiah will be at the line with the Huskies up by 13.
Hey guys, I was just gonna say, you could toss you down to, you know, Rex Walters is in a suit. The rest of the guys are, you know, khakis or whatever. What Angie, what gives? So.
All right, Angie with a fashion update on the San Francisco bench. How's that?
What's the answer?
Yeah. I asked the assistants actually, and they said, "Hey, when you make it to the NBA, you can afford Armani."
Huskies looking to hold on to a 13-point lead over the closing minutes here at Bank of America Arena. Stick around after the game for College Hoops Northwest, presented by Snoqualmie Casino. We'll have post-game analysis, interviews, and scores from around the Northwest. That's coming up next right here on FSN. And maybe more shots of that cute young lady. Hey, you know, there's a bit of a fashion issue related to the USF bench. And to explain all of that to us, let's head courtside again to Angie Menting.
Yeah, guys, if you notice, Rex Walters is in a suit, and the rest of his staff are in khakis and white shirts. So I asked the assistants, what gives? And they looked at each other knowingly and said to me, well, if you make it to the NBA, you can afford Armani. But being down here courtside and seeing the workout that Rex Walters has got in that suit, guys, it's headed straight to the cleaners.
Well, he's a hard-working guy, played his high school ball in San Jose, made his way initially to Northwestern, and then on to Kansas. Very quiet here.
It did.
It was like a library for a moment.
Well, you know, in his time in the NBA, you know, not only did he play for Roy Williams at Kansas, but he played for Chuck Daly. He played for Larry Brown, and he also played for Pat Riley. So he played for some of the best.
Guys that you can certainly learn a lot of basketball from. Stays in regular contact with Coach Williams, who, of course, is now at North Carolina. Huskies in a zone. Calario missing. And Overton looking ahead to Pondexter, who's having a big game again.
Good decision by Holiday to turn down that shot with a 15-point cushion. 3 minutes to go. They can afford to run a little clock.
Overton adds to the cushion with the 3-ball. Benoit Overton has hit 2 of 3 shots from beyond the arc. He becomes the 4th Husky in double figures now with 10. So continuing to provide a terrific spark off the bench for this club as the Huskies now have their largest lead at 18. Brian Ammoning picking up the loose ball. Elston Turner, nice find inside to NBA, hesitates. Blocked by Lowhorn, but sticks with it.
Too big, too strong. Good job by Brian Manning to stay with it, but another good pass by one of the Husky wing players to find one of the big guys in transition and feed him.
13 for Matthew now to go along with 6 rebounds. Lowhorn looking inside. Instead goes to Williams, who gave USF a big spark here in the second half, but that was about it for the run. Calario missing, Lowhorn missing, Deshara and 1. Mustafa Deshara will head to the stripe. He has 13 points.
Well, one of the bright spots for USF as they come out of this basketball game, I mean, it's apparent that they're going to lose, but they're out rebounding Washington right now by 10. Washington has, for the last 2 or 3 years, including this one, has been one of the best rebounding teams in the country. So something that USF can take away from this is the way that they were able to more than hold their own in the glass with Washington, and because they're not going to see these type of athletes 1 through 12 through 13 when they get into WCC play.
Deshara completes the 3-point play. He has 14 points and 12 rebounds, double-double. This game for him as he takes a seat and receives congratulations from his head coach and the assistants for USF. As we approach the 2-minute mark and the Huskies leading by 17. Trent has returned as a number of Huskies have made their way to the bench, including Quincy Pondexter.
Well, this is the lineup we saw earlier with 3 freshmen, with Braziers being a redshirt freshman, and 2 sophomores.
Caddy inside to Brashears. Fouled, and he'll go to the line. Reese Brashears has done an outstanding job off the bench. 11 points, 6 rebounds. Lorenzo Romar talked about Brashears early in the season and how he would just need to play himself into shape. Obviously, that's coming along, and you can see the payoff. Huskies will be opening conference play New Year's Eve right here at Bank of America against the Oregon State Beavers. An irony of all ironies, both those teams will enter that game with exactly 1,600 wins in program history. Saturday, the Ducks will be in town, and then it's off to play the Arizona schools.
The Arizona schools open up with USC and UCLA.
Brashears with a rejection. Dons get it back. Green goes in and draws contact from Brashears. Rashad Green will head to the line. Brashears, by the way, with those 12 points, tying his career high that he set earlier this season against San Jose State.
You see Rashad Green taking the ball to the basket there. I think the Huskies a couple times in their scouting report have forgotten that Green is a lefty.
Shoots 73% at the line. Valerio returning for the Dons as Dior Lohorn checks out. His day likely done. The senior out of San Francisco who came in averaging 19 points and nearly 6 rebounds. He leaves with 13 points and 8 boards. Gaddy out of the double team. Turner and back to Gaddy. Mr. Holiday. Working clock. All in all, what do you think of this outing today, Francis, by the Huskies in their final tune-up for conference play as Holiday misses? Over the back is Abdul Gaddy.
Well, once they woke up and they got going, you know, I thought they did a great job of sharing the basketball. I don't know how many total assists Washington has right now, but Isaiah Thomas did a nice job of, even though his offense with regards to scoring was not there, he did a nice job of really finding teammates and not forcing anything as far as putting up shots and looking for his offense. I thought he did a nice job, and that was one of the things that kind of settled things down when early on the Dons were really making a push to come out and be competitive. You see USF really going with some of their younger players being in the basketball game right now, outside of Bryant, who's a senior. The rest of these guys are for the most part youngsters, and we should probably mention that sitting right behind the USF bench is Cole Dickerson out of Federal Way High School here in Seattle, who is a early commit to the University of San Francisco. You see him there right there. His Federal Way team won the 4A state championship here in the state of Washington, and one of the favorites to do so again this year, and he will be a nice addition to that USF program.
What kind of player is he, Francis?
He's a 6'7", 3-4 combo. I think he's more effective really as a 3 because he can really face up and shoot the ball from the outside and has the ability to put the ball on the floor. So I think in their system, Coach Walters and his staff are really excited about having him, you know, be a part of their program. He's a good player. He comes from a winning program, which is something Coach Walters is trying to have, you know, manifest itself on his program. We want guys that are used to winning and they know how to win. You see right to his right there, that's his sister Selena, who plays at Seattle U, and so a very athletic family is Mike Dickerson, that played at Federal Way, also played at Arizona, played in the NBA for a while. That's his half brother.
Good fit for him, the West Coast Conference, you think, for Cole?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit. I know a lot of the Pac-10s were looking at him. He's not maybe quite athletic enough to play in the Pac-10. He's skilled enough, but maybe not athletic enough. But he'll be a good fit in the WCC at USF. I know most of the WCC schools really liked him, and I talked to a couple people that really wanted him, but he chose USF. And his teammate at Federal Way, Isaiah Umapig, is going to make his way down to Cal State Fullerton.
That's about as easy as it'll get for the Huskies as Turner gets the finish, and Washington with a 16-point lead. We're just inside a minute left here at Bank of America. Ball deflected out of bounds. It'll remain San Francisco's possession. 4 Huskies in double figures in scoring. See Pondexter with 22, Brian Ammoning with 13, Brashears with 12, and Overton with 10. Huskies taking a timeout as you look at Quincy Pondexter. Busy on the 23rd with a little activity with the Pacific Northwest Ballet. Post-game show, you will see him play the role of grandfather.
Grandfather, yes.
In the Nutcracker.
Well, a very efficient day today for Pondexter. 10 for 12 from the floor. 1 for 1 from behind the arc. 1 for 1 from the foul line. 5 rebounds. But very efficient with that 10 for 12.
Well, they talk about, and we did early in the game, about this maybe being kind of a trap game. I don't know as you look at Pondexters. Yes, there's Pops. I don't think there's a trap game for Quincy Pondexter. He comes prepared every time out. Doesn't mean he's always going to get the results he wants individually, but in terms of a guy who comes ready to play, always there.
Yeah, his energy and activity has not wavered at all in any of the games, regardless of who the competition has been. He has gone full throttle.
And a foul on Abdul Gaddy, and that will send Kwame Vaughn to the line. 4th foul on Abdul. Where do you think he is right now, Francis, getting ready for conference play? It has not been a smooth transition for Abdul Gaddy from Bellarmine Prep and, of course, AAU ball and now to the Huskies.
Well, difficult to live up to the hype surrounding him, coming in with all of the accolades, parade, McDonald's, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he's had problems on the defensive end, but I think the biggest problem that Abdul has right now is that he's only 17 years old. He doesn't turn 18 until next month, and that's a big step from high school to Pac-10 play at this level. And, you know, there's a big difference between a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old. There's a major difference, and he's not playing against any other 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it's a big step. So, you know, there's a lot expected of him, and can't use that as an excuse, but I do think that it's a valid reason as to why he maybe has struggled a little bit, because it's just a much higher level of competition, and he's going to have to make the adjustment.
Holiday hitting the free throw. One stat that Lorenzo Romar is going to love, he's not already aware of it, he probably is, 7 turnovers for the Huskies. That is their season low. Previous low 10 against Belmont. So that is a very encouraging sign, taking care of the basketball as you get ready for conference play and taking on Craig Robinson's Beavers here on Thursday night.
And the opportunity to hold another opponent under 70, which has been another goal that Washington has set for itself.
This pass inside. Bishara rejected by Brashears.
And even though he was in a position to get a wide open layup, you give the Huskies credit for, even with 30 seconds left in the game, the tenacity to, again, we're not giving up any layups. Anything you get, you're going to have to earn.
Williams, Devon, Calario for 3. Good three-point shooter, and showed it there. Hit one early, did Calario, and now gets his second near the end of the game. The Dons take a timeout, and Husky fans not buying into that one.
Well,
with the Huskies up by 14 points and 17.5 seconds left to play.
Yeah, well, opportunity for Rex Walters with his young team. He's teaching.
Yeah.
All coaches are teachers, and there's 17 seconds left in this game. He probably has a special situation or something that he wants to remind them of. So it's a teaching point. It's not to prolong, you know, them getting to the parking lot and going home. He's working with his team.
Hey, guys, let's play this like we're up 1, down 1, or in a tie, and let's see some execution down the stretch. Special
situations which you run into all the time coming down the stretch, you know, in close games.
Well, they didn't like the timeout, but all in all, these Husky fans will head out of Bank of America Arena very happy. Their team will improve to 9-2 as they finish non-conference play, 9-0 at home. And that's probably, Francis, the one remaining question regarding this Husky team is getting business taken care of on the road. And to do that, they'll have to do it obviously in conference play where it's critical. And those first challenges will come down in Tucson and Tempe.
Yep. Well, 6-3 on the road last year in Pac-10, if I'm not mistaken. And that was just an added plus for them. They were so good on the road. They haven't shown that so far this year. But as we mentioned, this is 17 in a row here at Heck Ed, and now 27 out of the last 28.
And just not many road opportunities.
No.
I mean, you just haven't played on the road that much.
No, they have not. And the scheduling has been favorable, but the last 3 or 4 years, they've scheduled a lot of home games in the preseason, and it has worked out well for the most part. And but a younger team, so they're going to have to figure out what it takes, the concentration, the focus that you have to have on the road to be able to get W's.
Speaking of scheduling, Rex Walters telling me yesterday, we probably overscheduled our guys a bit for our non-conference games, taking on some quality major conference teams at their place. Nice follow-up by Clarence Trent as he joins the scoring parade. Every Husky who has played has now scored. Williams, long three.
Well, that puts him over 70.
84-71 as Michael Williams hits the shot. Clarence Trent, it's showtime. He can elevate. Now that'll especially make the fans here happy. And there you have it, the exclamation point to a convincing win for the Huskies, although they were tested here in the second half and responded quite well to a run by the Dons as the Huskies get the 86-71 victory. Now 9-2 on the season, and the next time they take this court will be Thursday, New Year's Eve, the Pac-10 opener against the Oregon State Beavers. And Quincy Pondexter, of course, will be leading the way, leading the Huskies this afternoon with 22 points and 5 rebounds. Just right about at his average, 21.9, 12th in the nation. It's a special player in this his senior season.